came over to update you on where we are with SAP Analytics Cloud. My name is Iver van Zand. I'm from Belgium, and I'm owning and driving the analytics strategy. Before we start, if you think about about strategy and how we drive that, there are so many aspects, but an important one is, of course, a journey to the cloud that some customers went into, some customers already completed, and some customers, for very good reasons, are not even started. Yeah? And if we define a strategy and we go forward with our products, we must and we do respect that journey. Yeah? So we have so many customers. If I just look at my own country, we have banks that go fully in the cloud. We have banks that didn't even start. Well, that happens in all industries. Yeah? So that journey to the cloud is different per customer, and as such, we need to respect that with the offering that we provide. I just wanted to, it's slightly off record, but I just wanted to ask your attention for the following. We presented a few days ago a statement of direction on our website, and I think you can see the link over here. If you go to SAPAnalyticsCloud, you will find that statement of direction, and what we did was made it very, very clear for you what we are doing with SAP Analytics Cloud, what we are doing with SAP Business Objects, which is the on-premise offering, and how they can work together if you want so. Yeah, so that statement of direction is a pretty important document, and if you're using SAP Analytics or consider using it, I absolutely urge you to have a look at that document. Yeah? So just wanted to take the opportunity to point you at that. Going back to the discussion we had, so if we deep dive a little bit in how that strategy is orchestrated, then a very important statement that we made public, and I'm pretty firm on this one, is that if you look at SAP Analytics Cloud, we made, I think it was 14 months ago, we made the following statement. Every core application of SAP has always some embedded analytics. Whether it's SuccessFactors, whether it's Ariba, whether it's Fieldglass, whether it's, name it. All that embedded analytics will be, in the end, SAP Analytics Cloud. That's how serious we are about SAP Analytics Cloud. And I think you heard earlier this week an announcement from Jürgen Müller that S/4HANA Cloud, the embedded analytics, is as of now SAP Analytics Cloud. Yeah, we are very shortly from now launching People Analytics, which is the embedded version in SuccessFactors. Yeah? Ariba is currently planned. I'll have a slide on that and I'll give you a bit more details. But this is how serious we are about SAP Analytics Cloud. It is our way forward for analytics on the long term. So if we try to unfold that a little bit, if we try to detail that out, what for us is important is that first of all, one cloud-based platform for all analytics. And we will talk about in more detail, but I believe, and I'm in analytics pretty long, that one of the unique propositions of Analytics Cloud is the fact that it does monitoring, some people call that business intelligence, projection, where do I want to go, what was my plan, some people call that planning, and simulation, what if I would change this in my budget or whatever, together in one product. One login, I can do BI, I can do planning, I can do predictive analytics or simulation in one product. That is very, 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 very powerful about the product. I will show it to you later on. Yeah. Second, what I just mentioned, powering the intelligent enterprise. This comes down to Analytics Cloud becoming the de facto standard for embedded analytics of every core application of SAP and the line. It's a very important statement. Are we there today? No. Do we have a plan how to get there? Yes. I'll show you that plan. Third element, hybrid analytics. And that's, I think we need to explain that word hybrid analytics a little bit. What we mean with hybrid analytics is that imagine you are using Analytics Cloud. Of course, you want to access on-premise data sources, whether it's an on-premise BW or HANA, whether it's SQL Server or Oracle, or when it's on-premise analytics, like a business object server, for example. So we want, and that refers back to that journey to the cloud, we have a strategy in Analytics Cloud that it must allow to access on-premise data sources, which it can today. Fourth element, we massively adopted the embedding of augmented analytics. That's a bit of a buzzword, I know, augmented analytics, but it refers back to bringing intelligence into your insights, helping you finding insights at the right moment that you need them. Concretely meaning embedding algorithms, correlations, for example, time series forecasting, that help you find the exact insights that you need. That augmentation is in the product right now, and if we look at our strategy where we invest, that's a massive point of investment for us. Fifth, and not last, the consumer-grade experience. So an experience that allows you to get high adoption of your analytics. And let's be very simple and clear about that. You can have a golden Lamborghini business intelligence platform with all whistles and bells, whatever you want. If nobody uses it, you failed. So you need to have an analytics platform that is highly easy to access, to absorb, and to adopt. That's what we try to obtain with Analytics Cloud. And it's for you to judge whether you agree with my statement that I think we succeeded there. So these are 5 core elements that drive our thoughts and our go forward with Analytics Cloud. And everything we do and all the investments relate back to these 5 elements. I spoke about the one solution for BI planning and predictive analytics. I call that the closed loop. So in the product, in SAP Analytics Cloud, with your same license, you can do monitoring. How am I doing? What is the level of that KPI? What is my margin year-to-date Q4 versus year-to-date Q4 last year? All those things. How am I doing? Versus what did I plan to do? SAP Analytics Cloud is a very, very strong planning engine. For those of you who didn't know, when we started Analytics Cloud, when we draw the first lines on paper developing the product, it was initially, little secret, built as a planning product. So the planning element is very, very, very strong in there. Workflows, cost allocation engine, value driver trees, name it. And the third element is that if you want to compare those, your actuals with your budgets, which is, I think, something that almost everybody wants to do. Of course, you want to do what-if analysis, simulations. What if I changed it? What if I introduce a new product? What does that lead for me in terms of forecasting, for example? Where does that bring me in terms of cost allocation? So that element, third element, predictive, comes in the same product too. Well, to make that a bit more tangible for you, over here I made a very simple report where you see the 3 coming together. On the top right-hand side, you see that I created an overview of actual versus budget, or how am I doing? On the left-hand side, I did a planning element in there. I just uploaded a small piece of a P&L with interdependencies of the various accounts, and how they relate to each other, and there was a complete cost calculation. I can click that and increase it a little bit, and it automatically cost calculate where I'm going to. And on the bottom right-hand side, you see an automated time series forecasting based on a forecasting algorithm that's embedded in the product. So this is where you see that end-to-end positioning of the product. I honestly believe, and I dare to say this loudly to you, I think we are the only one in the marketplace who has full end-to-end in the product. And we will deep dive in some of those elements a little bit. If I open up the logical architecture of Analytics Cloud, then it looks like this. You see the 3 core elements that we discussed. There was a monitoring area, how am I doing? There was a planning area, there was a predictive area, and most recently, we added Analytics Designer, which is it allows you to build custom applications with SAP Analytics Cloud. For those of you who are familiar with Design Studio or Lumira Designer, That full engine that's in there, we brought it in Analytics Cloud. It allows you to build dashboards with drop-down boxes. You have a question, man? Yeah, so the question is, if we go, and so the question is, if you look at Lumira Designer and Lumira Discovery, which are part of the on-premise business objects, yeah, and your question is whether you can run both of those in the cloud too. You can run them on, for example, a hack environment. You could theoretically do that, yeah. So the second question is that this refers back to the on-premise business objects. Yeah? So I'm talking today about the Analytics Cloud, but the on-premise, if you look at Lumira Designer and Lumira Discovery, the questions are, do we further evolve and invest in those products? In Lumira Designer, definitely yes. I refer to the statement of direction. Yeah, there are a few new service packs and a few small tweaks that we do. In Lumira Discovery, less. So coming back to Analytics Cloud, the logical architecture, so the fourth element, Analytics Designer, and I will show you live how that product works, allows you to build custom application. And what makes it very nice is those custom applications, you can embed them in all the websites. They respect the complete idea behind BI, planning, predictive. We have APIs, widgets, all those elements. Well, this runs on a platform called SAPAnalyticsCloud, of course, in the cloud, driven by HANA in-memory technology, and it comes with full mobile readiness. So we support the Apple environments, we support the Windows Mobile environments, Android coming soon. There is the Analytics Hub, which is a slightly, the Analytics Hub you should see as a catalog that allows you to bring all your insights that you have in your organization together, so people can really easily find the dashboard or the report that they need. And the digital boardroom, you can see it on the show floor. The digital boardroom is a visual element that you can optionally, on top of Analytics Cloud, use. And what it brings you, to say it very in simple wording, it allows you to use touch screens. Yeah, large screens with your dashboard, and you can touch them and analyze or whatever you want. Yeah, so those are the digital boardrooms. In terms of connectivity, like we said, of course we connect to other cloud data sources. We connect to on-premise data sources, and you want to combine them. Of course, you want to blend data. You barely never access one data source. You always access various ones. Yeah? Yeah, so you want to bring those together. This is the logical architecture of Analytics Cloud. Got it? What I'm now going to do, I'm going to highlight a few things that I believe are pretty strong and interesting for you to know about Analytics Cloud. Yeah? And one of the things is, which I call making things live. And I'm going to explain to you what I mean with that. If you access data with Analytics Cloud, you can access data in two ways. Way number one, I acquire data. What does it mean? I'm in Analytics Cloud, I access SQL Server, I fire the query, it takes out the data that I want, it uploads that data into Analytics Cloud, and I analyze. Can I access almost any of those data sources? Challenge me. I think we can almost access any. Can I access multiple and combine them and link them and even blend them? That's something different. Yes, can all do that. That's one. The one that I want to highlight is the second type of connectivity, which is live. What is the big difference? For a number of data sources, they are behind me on the left-hand side. For a number of data sources, I can access the data live. What does it mean? I am in Analytics Cloud and I access a HANA data source through a live connection. It means that the query is fired towards HANA, which could run on-premise, for example. And the only thing, the only underline bold, only thing that is sent back from HANA to Analytics Cloud is the metadata framing to create my dashboard. There is no data sent back. There is no data with a live connection leaving your firewall. So again, I'm going to be a bit direct, that's my style. I know that a lot of customers, oh, cloud, and I don't want my data going up into the cloud. If you have a live connection, there is no data going into the cloud. It stays with the data source where it comes from. Those live data sources in Analytics Cloud today are limited, oops, I shouldn't walk in front of the screen, to what you see over here. So we live connect to BW for HANA, S4HANA, S4HANA Cloud, universes, I'll come back to that, and Data Warehouse Cloud. And you can't have missed the talking about Data Warehouse Cloud. Yeah? Universes, the reason that I underline that a little bit, remember that we started this conversation about hybrid and accessing, for example, your business objects. Well, we can live access all the investments that you did with business objects. Imagine that you consider using Analytics Cloud next to business objects. We can live access all those elements through the universe. Are we the only one in the market that provide live access to some of these data sources over here? No. What is so unique about SAP, the moment, and I don't know if there are BW users over here, but the moment you access live a data source, there's a lot going on. What we are very strong in and very unique in is that we take all the semantics, think about currency setups, multiple hierarchies, all that stuff in BW. We take that into account with the live connectivity. Even more unique, imagine that you have a BW system and a SQL Server, and you want to connect live to BW, and you want to blend that data with an acquired connection from SQL Server. Can we do that? Yes. I have 2 HANA on-premise systems, 2 different ones. I connect live to number 1, I connect live to number 2. Can we blend that? Think about that, that's pretty impressive. Yes, you can. So that's an important element that I wanted to bring to your attention. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, so the question is, person over here is running a POC and they are accessing a calculation view with HANA through a live connection. Yeah. So if you imagine that in your calculation view you brought in some additional semantics like formulas or whatever, do you have access to those formulas? Absolutely yes. Absolutely yes. Yeah. The data with a live connection, is not leaving your HANA. The only thing that is sent back to Analytics Cloud is the metadata framing to create the graph. Yep.
And then in that case, I don't think so we have options of creating the custom hierarchies directly. Like we don't get the option of preparing the data preparation, the data enrichment, that is not available if I use it like.
No, limited with a live connection. The modeling area in Analytics Cloud is, of course, you have to do way less because you should do that in good practice, of course, in the calculation view. Second element that I wanted to bring to your attention is make things smart. Remember that we talked about that slide with those 5 elements that are important, and one of them was augmented, yeah? Making your insights smart. Well, those elements, if you look at the strategy, there are a number of core elements really coming in. So you can expect quite a lot regarding conversational AI, yeah, which is a very complex word for a chatbot type of technology, yeah, coming into the product. Some of that is already in there. Yeah? So for example, search to insight, and I don't have time to show and demo you everything, but I'm here the whole day. Search to insight is a way of Google type way of creating your graphs. Yeah? Instead of creating a visualization with your actuals per product, whatever, yeah, you can just type in show me the revenue per product and it creates a graph for you. Yeah? So those are elements that you see over there. Automated discovery is another technology, and again, I'm a bit short in time, but automated discovery is basically a type where you use an acquired connection and you just ask the product, this is my data source. Do everything for me. Create the whole graph for me. Yeah? And it will create that for you. If I have time, I show it to you live. Yeah? And the third element is using embedded predictive algorithms to automatically create some insights. I'd like, if you allow me, to show a few of those elements so that you at least have a glimpse of what I mean with smart featuring and smart technology. Let me show to you. So over here I have a just sample data. I hope you can hear me still. This is just a dashboard with Analytics Cloud. Yeah? And remember that we talked about all kinds of ways to find the insights for you that you need. Well, look over here. I have an overview of the revenue lost per product. Yeah? What I can do over here, you see that at the bottom of my graph, you see this little light bulb. I activated the Smart Insight. It means that it automatically suggests already some of the trending in the data. What I also can do, I can click it. I can click this one, the weighting element, for example, and I can ask the system via this light bulb to analyze for me. Look what's happening. Yeah? So it's creating, it uses now a correlation algorithm. You see on my screen? Yeah? And it automatically provides me with a number of correlated insights that are available over here. So what is correlation? In my very simple Belgian wording, what is correlation? Imagine I have a metric like revenue. What correlates the most to the revenue? Is it the product, is it the time, is it the sales manager, is it the region, whatever, yeah? So what drives that metric the most? Yeah, well, for revenue, you probably won't analyze that too, but think about margins, for example. That's pretty impressive. Yeah? This smart featuring is in the product already for quite a long time, but we bettered it and bettered it. Yeah, so look at a few very interesting things that I can do. I can say over here, for the same element, I can say over here, I want you to automatically create the variance between actuals and targets. So I'll do that over here. You see that all the other graphs are interdependent. So I've done that right now. So it does a variance. That same analysis that I just did also works on a variance. It's really, really powerful. Yeah, so I ask the product right now, analyze the difference between the actual and the budget for this highlighted product that does very bad. Yeah, it's red marked. And focus and exactly explain to me the correlation for the differences between actuals and targets. Yeah? And the moment that I see an insight over here, and I'm currently in view mode, but if I would go in edit mode, creating and changing the dashboard, I can just say, if I say, well, this one is very important for me. Sales unit EMEA is the top sales organization contributor driving primarily that difference. I can just add it to my dashboard. It runs automatically with me. Does that give you an idea? This is just an example. Another example over here of smart featuring is these time series over here. So I can automatically apply the forecast over here. So once you see that I've applied that, it automatically runs a forecasting algorithm with me. Whatever I do with the data, if I change it, over here, so I change another view, or I say I want to focus on this one. Look at my forecast, it automatically changes. I can zoom into it, and you see it's calculating as we speak, and it automatically runs with me. Got it? Going back to the presentation. So that was another highlight that I wanted to share with you. Oops. The third element, and I already touched it, is make things projected. So talk about the planning area in SAP Analytics Cloud. And this is utterly, utterly strong. To give you a few background details, I don't know if there are people in the room who use BPC, the planning and consolidation software of SAP. Analytics Cloud has a bi-directional interactivity with BPC. So I can use Analytics Cloud to maintain, to analyze, to change my planning, can even write it back to BPC if you want. For example, a customer like Signify Philips is massively doing that. Well, over here you see some of the elements, so this is some of the screenshots, what we can do with the planning element. Those smart featurings that I just showed you, all those correlations, also work with the planning element of Analytics Cloud. And I showed you over here some of those examples. Over there you see how we can work in table views, and set up planning models, use different versions. So I can easily say, well, this is my planning, this is my strategic plan, and you and I, sir, are in a meeting. and you are my manager, and you say, well, hey, let's first create a new version of that strategic plan, yeah, a simulation version, and let's change it and play around with it. Let's see where that brings us. Yeah, the moment that you and I agree, I can fix it, publish it, and make it a new standard if I wish to. Yeah? So that strategic planning, that planning element, is of course not only financial planning. Yeah, people tend to think if you talk planning and budgeting is always about finance. That's not correct, of course. Yeah, the planning that we can do could be any planning. Could be workforce planning, could be HR planning, could be marketing-driven planning, yeah? Could be financial planning. Yeah? What we do not do, I get that question all the time, what we do not do is consolidation. Yeah? We don't do consolidation in AnalyticsCloud. Yeah? Over here you see a few other insights on that planning area. What is also part of AnalyticsCloud is that the planning portion comes with a full workflow. And again, I talk in my very simple language. Imagine I am manager of this whole group, and I'm ordered to increase my budgets with 1 million. And you are users with me in AnalyticsCloud. I can delegate 200K to you, sir. I can delegate 400K to you and 500K to you. We have the whole workflow. You need to accept it. You can change it, bring it back to me, and I can all consolidate, quote that, into a new, for example, strategic plan. I can show you quickly to give you an idea on how the planning element works as follows. Going back to my application, and I took another example for you. So over here I have a little overview of again, it's based on S/4HANA finance data, as you can see over here. I have over here a little overview of my planning data. And I could say, for example, these are the employee expenses, which are currently weighted at 18.99 in this Q1 in my sample data. I could say, well, I want to create a new version, and what if I think these expenses are slightly higher? They are 12% higher. Yeah, I'm doing the analysis, and I think, well, this is my gut feeling, yeah, it needs to be 12% higher. So if I okay that, you will see that it does an automated breakback to the different underlying elements. You see what's happening over there? In the yellow highlighted elements? I can do that whole planning for you. Yeah? I can now say, well, so that the 11, what did I key in? 11 or 12%. It brings me to 21. That means for these elements over here, I can change that distribution and break back and build in weighting factors and what have you. I can also say, well, can you now create for me, for example, if I go in the edit mode, I can say, well, can you now even do an automated forecast for me on that, on the same one? Yeah, so I activate my forecast. I say, can you just give me a preview? I change the expenses for my HR. Yeah, what does that leave me for my long-term forecast, for example? I can automatically ask the product to do that. And over here, you see that's popping up. If I want to use it, I can embed it in the product. Yep. I don't want to do a Skype right now. Yep. You never expect that. That's what I say. Don't. Yeah. Another thing that I just wanted to highlight is that all those elements that I just used, and again, this is the P&L example that I told you, I can also bring them back into a value driver tree. So here you see some of my metrics, and over here I see this is about travel expenses and stuff. And I could say in my discussion, well, this is my cruising volume, and that is quoted at 754K this year. What is happening with my total revenue and my margins if that goes up with 9%? Yeah, so I activate that right now. It does the full cost calculation. And you can see even all my graphs are adjusted now with my new metric. Yeah, and it will completely cost calculate all my data through the entire model for you. Yeah? So these are a few things I wanted to highlight regarding the planning area, which I believe is utterly strong. A fourth element that I believe really requires your attention. And again, I come back to the opening statement where we talked about those 5 key elements, is making things embedded. So Analytics Cloud will, in the end, become the de facto standard for embedded analytics for every core application of SAP. That's how serious we are with it. Over here you see a little bit of a timeline. I know it's a very complex graph, but you might have some of these applications in use, and I indicated where it was possible already some timing where we are. Yeah, so for example, SAP Sales Cloud is already live. Success factors will be introduced very soon. Ariba, for example, the embedding is currently planned. We have a very detailed roadmap and insights for you on the websites. If you Google for the SAP roadmaps, you will find the details available for you over there. But in the end, they will all follow. Yeah, and Concur, for example, is a very yes, sir.
The question is, with the on-premise like S4HANA or HANA products, what's the idea there? Are you just going to give a certain amount of accounts per S4HANA, or are you going to integrate it to the point where it will all work from the same Fiori panel? What's the idea with on-premise?
It differs, it's a good question. It differs a little bit. So the question is, what's the idea with Analytics Cloud? How many users do you get, for example, for S4HANA? It differs a little bit application per application. What I can say, the moment that we embed Analytics Cloud, let's take an example, Ariba. The moment that we embed Analytics Cloud, it will have the full functionality embedded in Ariba, but it's of course limited to the Ariba data. Yeah, the moment that you say, hey, I want to use that embedded Analytics Cloud with other data, local Excel or Oracle or whatever, yeah, you will have to go for a full Analytics Cloud license, which opens up that data source connectivity. In terms of number of users, it depends per, I can't say it's always that, or it depends on the application that you're using. Yes, sir.
Recently we ventured into SAP Analytics Cloud for last 4 months, and we do have SAP Concur as well. So would I have 2 tenants out there, one for SAP Concur, or would my same Analytics Cloud would be connecting to SAP Concur?
That's a super good question. So imagine I'm using Concur and it has Analytics Cloud embedded. Yeah, imagine. Plus imagine too that in the same process I'm already doing with a separate Analytics Cloud tenant already some other analysis. That's how I understand your question, sir. Yeah. Will that be 2 different tenants? Today they are. Yeah. The moment that we will go live, we will not. It won't be anymore that way because you don't want to use 2 separate tenants. So the moment that we will bring in the Analytics Cloud as part of Concur, you will have the chance to bring that back to 1 tenant. Yep. Yes, ma'am.
So that's on the roadmap to merge them into 1 tenant, but that's just not the way it is today?
Well, yeah, so, but the point is that the reason that I tell you, so the embedded analytics today in Concur is not even there. Yeah, so the problem doesn't occur.
That's factors and it is.
Yeah, yeah.
Right,
So
we're going to have 1 tenants for now.
for success factors, you will in the end be able to use 1 tenant the moment that we officially launch it.
So it would be the base tenant. Because currently our SAP Analytics Cloud is connected to the BW system.
Yes?
Right? So we are doing all the developments in that particular tenant.
Yes?
Now success factors or SAP Concur comes in, they're going to connect to my base tenant.
Yes?
Okay.
Yes, correct. I'm sorry.
So is this embedded everywhere only for the cloud solutions? What about S4HANA on-premise? Because we can say integrate, but it's not embedded. So is that the direction going forward?
That is the expected direction going forward. But I haven't seen very firm plans yet on that, but that's the expected direction going forward. Correct. Oops, all the questions come up.
What should you feel as success factors occur?
I'm sorry, I can't hear you, sir.
So if you have 3 other solutions, success factors, occur, and field labs,
Yeah.
what do you do after? Like, so you have 3 embedded SACs in 3 systems?
Yeah, so I think it comes back to the same question. So imagine I have 3 different applications, Concur, Fieldglass, Ariba, yeah? And I use the embedded versions of all 3 of them, yeah? Would I have 3 different systems? Yes. But imagine that your question would be, the moment that you want to connect them for whatever reason, imagine that you want to do an overarching analysis over those 3, you can upscale your license to an SAC tenant that allows you to combine those elements. Is that answering your question? Yep. Yes. I can't hear your sir. I come to you because I really can't hear you. No worries. Yeah. So the moment that is that requiring. So the question is, what is the requirement for BW to access it live from within SAC? BPC. Ooh, that's a question I'll come back to you offline. I don't know by heart. I thought that was your question regarding live connectivity to BW. That's 7.4 SP12 minimum, yeah, to allow the live connection, but we recommend 7.5. For BPC, I need to check. I'll take that offline. Over here you see a number of lab previews, yeah, of how this is going to look. And again, I refer to the product roadmaps that are publicly available, where you can see the exact timeline. Yeah. An element that is also very interesting for you is the embedded line of business content. Yeah, so Analytics Cloud comes with embedded content. And I know your question, and I know your thoughts. You say, well, okay, that's another sample of data. The embedded line of business content that you can activate through every Analytics Cloud tenant has a number of pre-built content, but this goes way, way beyond the typical sample stories that apply. Yeah? What it does, it comes with all the models, it comes with all the connections. So to make it very concrete, imagine that you want to use let's think about hospital content. What we have done is we created the typical hospital dashboards with all the KPIs, combining with all the models that come with them, and we made dummy systems that have a typical setup for a hospital, and the only thing you need to do is report your connection, not from our dummy system that comes with it, but to the real system. Yeah? So it's a really kickstart. Some systems where that applies very, very well is, for example, the planning and the financial data from S4HANA. Yeah, so we have a dummy system running on there. If you use S4HANA, you want to use the embedded content, the only thing you need to do is report the connections to your own S4HANA system, and off you go. Yes?
So I see most of the source systems here are cloud source systems, like SAP S4HANA Cloud everywhere. So
yep.
What if a customer has S4HANA on-prem, so would I not get my content out there?
Well, you can still, yeah, so the question is, some of them, and these are not, this is, by the way, this list is not exhaustive, complete, yeah, so it's just a screenshot. Yeah, but the question of the sir is most of the elements that I see over here is S4HANA Cloud, so these are the embedded content that you can use if you want. Yeah, most of the sources refer to the cloud variant. Imagine that I use the on-premise variant. For some of them, we again have a roadmap for these ones. Some of them are being developed. Some of them are, it's up to you to build a new connection or to map the model towards your own attributes and metrics in your system. So it's not available for everything, of course, but I think we did a pretty good job over here with providing so much.
So the push is to go to the cloud from SAP?
Well, I'm not saying that. The push is to go.
Developing more for the cloud content, and what if
Well, it's the more obvious choice, yeah. So the push, I don't think that's very fair to say, well, the push is to the cloud. What we do is we follow where the customers go, and most of them are going to the cloud. That's why you see these prioritized. And I'm not saying that there will always be situations where you have an on-premise environment where we don't have the LOB content available. Yeah, then it's up to you to You can always set up your own model against it, yeah, and do the mapping against your own data sources. Which with hybrid, it's another element that I'd like to highlight. Yeah? So this refers back, and I specifically made this slide for the situation where you use Analytics Cloud and you want to use it next to maybe an existing business object system that you have. So a few of the things we most recently launched, Live Universe Connect 2.0. So we already had a connection to a universe. That connector is now either acquired or live, so you can live connect to your on-premise business object server. That live connector with the version 2.0 is seriously bettered. Yeah? So it takes way more of the context that you have built into your universe with it. We also did quite a lot of investments regarding the BW enrichment and the elements that come with that. BPC and Analytics Cloud connection, and of course the Analytics Hub, which allows you, the Analytics Hub, do people know what Analytics Hub is? Analytics Hub is a central catalog, yeah, that also lives in the cloud. Allows you, it's just a catalog with all your dashboard and reports together. But those dashboards and reports can be Analytics Cloud, it can be SAP on-premise, and it can be third party. And I know, yeah, I'm going to customers all the time, I know that there are barely big companies that have one analytics product. I know. They always have Tableau, Power BI, whatever. Yeah? And Analytics Hub is really to prevent that you need to go to the Microsoft portal for your marketing reports and to the Tableau portal for your whatever and to the Launchpad for your business objects. Or you don't want to do that. Yeah? End users are not interested what tool is behind there. They just want to have the insight. Well, Analytics Hub really allows you to do that. It runs next to Analytics Cloud. Right? With the BI 4.3, the on-premise business objects, and I think we announced it over here. Yeah, it's coming early 2020. There are sessions that talk about BI 4.3. We call it internally really the hybrid release, because it's so much better in that connectivity towards Analytics Cloud. For example, from within business objects can directly publish something to the Analytics Hub as an example. I mentioned Analytics Hub, and I maybe should rephrase my statement that Analytics Hub, that catalog product, will very soon be renamed an Analytics Catalog. We are very good in renaming products at SAP. Yeah, I know. Anyway, so Analytics Hub will short from now be renamed an Analytics Catalog, but it's for a reason. Yeah, so the product gets again way more enriched. The whole we will allow you to even share models with your end users, but also the whole data warehouse cloud content. Well, Live Data Connect, we already discussed that, so this is really new and very strong. It's a bit technical, but it really allows you to use Analytics Cloud and access anything you already invested in with business objects through the universe. Yeah, so it even applies data level security. Over here you see a little bit of a logical model, how it is set up. I need to respect time, so I proceed a little bit quicker. What we haven't discussed yet is the custom applications. So this is, we remember in the beginning we talked about what people used to know as Design Studio or Lumira Designer. Well, Analytics Designer as part of SAP Analytics Cloud is now available. Over here you see some of examples of Analytics Designer. I can even show it live to you. So over here you see such a dashboard. So over here you see Analytics Designer. So it uses the complete, it accesses the complete technology of Analytics Cloud. So I can do my BI monitoring and planning, but I can build in drop-down boxes. I can open up panels, for example. 1 second. Oops, it's a bit. Yeah, I can open up panels. For the end user. I can even, and I can try to do that live for you, there's a new element in there, is that I can even scan. I'm now going to use my phone to scan the QR code that you see over here. Here we go, and I just scanned that. Unfortunately, I can't show you my iPhone, but I can now drive the dashboard. So I think it's currently, let me change it to previous month data. Here we go. Yeah, so I can control the dashboard, and I'll bring it back to, for example, actuals. Voila. Yeah, so I can drive the dashboard now with my phone. Yeah, so these are little things that we brought in. Analytics Designer is evolving very, very rapidly. I'm in the fan team, so I know that one of the things that, just for the very technical people in the room, we even also get property data binding. Yeah, so you don't have to type in your attributes if you want to do a Dropbox for your regions or your countries. Yes, sir.
Can we have this feature in the regular stories as well, the QR code feature?
I'll make a note of that. Yeah, and I'm going to ask it myself, and I take the phone. No, it's a very good one. Yeah, I'll take that. Yeah. So if you don't mind, I had a few things I quickly wanted to show you. A few highlights of things that we are either recently launched or that you can expect shortly from now. So for those of you who use BW, and where I live in Europe, almost every customer uses BW. We have now, as part of Analytics Cloud, we have the data analyzer application that allows you to directly access BW BEX queries without even creating a model. Yeah, so I made a little video for you where you see that happening, and I need to go through this pretty quick, but I'll make sure that you get the slides and also that these videos are published. But over here, I'm in Analytics Cloud. I directly access a BEX query, and I don't even have to create a model. Yeah, so I'm just access it, type in the name of my query, and kabang, here we go. 1 second. Yeah, it's a little video, by the way, that I created for you. And here I can analyze and use all the embedded hierarchies that are available over there and use the outcome into a story that I'm interested in. Yeah? So that's part of Analytics Cloud right now. You can activate it through the samples, and then your data analyzer application functionality will be activated in the product. Yeah? Where do we innovate? And again, I speed up a little bit. So these are the core innovation areas, but there are a few ones that I'd like to highlight for you. And one of those elements is the modeling that we completely changed embedders, which gives you way more. You can now even do blending on model level. The data analyzer I just showed to you, so this allows you, it's a replacement of web application design, the Mira Designer template, so directly access your BEX queries. Smart Predict, finally, we also have that with live connectivity. That's very important. Smart Predict is the whole predictive engine. And of course, if you do predictive analysis, it's almost per definition on live, large volumes of data, so that live connectivity is now there. The enterprise readiness, I'm going to show you a little mock-up, but yes, scheduling and publishing is coming. Yeah, this is Iver talking to you personally. I always thought in a cloud product, why do you need it? You asked, you get it. Yeah? So I will show you a quick mock-up. Commenting everywhere, so live data point commenting will be coming into the product everywhere. We will further focus on those hybrid scenarios, so it keeps an important topic that we are going to do. And the embedded scenarios, especially like success factors, you heard Jürgen talk, S4HANA, Jürgen talk about that. These are some of the highlights that are either already implemented or coming soon. Over here you see a little mock-up. Excuse me?
From your video.
I'm sorry.
It sounds kind of from your video.
Yeah, I'll put it down. I thought I did. Sorry. Well, yeah, so over here you see a little mock-up of the scheduling. It's a mock-up, so if you make a photo and you shoot me because the final product looks a little different, your problem, yeah, it's a mock-up, but your scheduling you get, yeah? So we will go to scheduling, we seriously consider capacity-based pricing for this one, but this gives you a little idea on what you can expect, yeah, so it will push out PDFs for you. You can define the users, also external ones. And again, we really need to respect, otherwise you can't ask a question anymore. But this is what will come pretty soon. Yeah? Another thing that I hopefully you like, we will come up with an Excel add-in, an Office 365 add-in. So this is from using Excel Online. So we build in the full Excel functionalities through SAP Analytics Cloud. You can interact with it. Yeah? So if you want to do certain things that you cannot do in Analytics Cloud, you want to use Excel functionality. Again, this is a mock-up. Yeah, this is not the final product, but I hope it gives you an idea on where we are working on and what you can expect pretty soon. Yeah? Excuse me, when? When?
Next year?
Yeah. I'm not sure, Q1, Q2, that area. Yeah. Yeah. Not this year anymore. Yeah. Scheduling similar, by the way. Well, over here you see some of the elements from within the roadmap. Yeah, so this is our product plan. You see the most important ones that I wanted to share, and I think some of them we really discussed. We're going to enhance and even smoothen the linked analysis, the cross-chart functionality. Well, you see a number of these, but again, you will get these slides. So I know it's time. If there's any questions, I'd like to take them right now. So the question is there any plan today to support live connectivity to non-SAP data sources? Today, we advise you to go in various ways. Yeah, you can go either SDI or SDA through HANA. Yeah, you can go through the APOS, Live Data Gateway connector, or through Universe. Very concrete plans, let me use those words, are not for the moment there.